when Fushua broke up with me. I cried until my eyes were red. She looked at me with annoyance and said disdainfully, "What? Do you love me so much that you can't live without me?" I nodded pitifully. She sighed helplessly, shook her head with a bitter smile, and casually transferred me 10 million as breakup compensation. Covering my mouth, I ran away crying like a heartbroken woman. Everyone in the private room sighed for me, thinking I was hopelessly in love with Fushua and couldn't possibly live without her. After all, I had been her devoted simp for 3 whole weeks. That was until the day my Weibo post went viral, boldly declaring, "Cold fish, stubborn donkey, Fushua is a total dumbass. Finally broke up, haha. Long live freedom." Fushua's lips trembled as she crushed the wine glass in her hand, her delicate fingers bleeding from shards. Even with her hand injured like that, it didn't stop her from sending me a message. "Gu-chun, you're something else. Here's another 10 million. Just make sure I never find you." On the day marking 3 weeks of our relationship, Fushua sent me a breakup text. The moment I received it, I jumped up and, refusing to accept it, rushed to the bar to confront her. In the private room, in front of all her girlfriends, I shamelessly grabbed Fushua's hand, dropped to one knee, and asked in a choked-up voice, "Honey, do we really have to break up?" Fushua lounged on the sofa, her tone icy as she replied, "Yeah, we're done. I couldn't hold back anymore. Please don't leave me, okay? Sweetheart, tell me what I did wrong. I'll change, I swear." Watching me grovel like a dog, sobbing uncontrollably, Fushua frowned, her eyes flashing with irritation and helplessness. "Gu-chun, are you seriously this obsessed? We've only been together for 3 weeks." Tears and snot streaming down my face, I nodded frantically. "Baby, I love you so much." Her frown deepened, her lips pressed into a thin line. After a long silence, my phone buzzed. A notification for a 10 million yuan transfer. Fushua turned her face away and said coldly, "Get lost, Gu-chun. This is your compensation. Don't ever bother me again." Her words left me pale and unsteady. "Fine, have it your way." Tears spilled as I covered my mouth and, under the pitying gazes of her friends, ran off crying like a scorned woman. One of her girlfriends finally spoke up. "Shua, you're just throwing money at him like that? That's straight up humiliating for a man. And he looks so miserable. Wasn't that too cruel?" Fushua watched me flee and sneered. "What? Should I chase after him now?" Hearing that, I immediately stopped my act and bolted like hell. The midnight streets were empty, silent except for the occasional passing car. Under the dim glow of a streetlight, I crouched, my expression melancholic. Beside me, my system lolled its tongue and comforted, "Host, don't be sad. Our mission's already complete." I lowered my head, lightly tracing the fresh cut on my left hand, a wound from when I tripped while delivering Fushua's breakfast days ago. A thin scab had already formed. "System, do you really think I'm upset?" The system wagged its tail in disbelief. "Gu-chun, you were acting? Damn, you deserve an Oscar." Laughing, I stood up and stretched. Obviously, the damn system had no words. In my past life, I've been a miserable workhorse who dropped dead from overwork. The system, taking pity on me, brought me to this new world. Its condition? Successfully woo a top-tier woman, maintain a relationship for at least 3 weeks, and you'll be revived in your original world. Mission accomplished. Of course, I'll do it. Once a beast of burden, always a beast of burden. I haven't struggled nearly enough yet. The system eyed me scornfully. It didn't understand why a beast of burden like me insisted on living, but it still honored our agreement and helped me choose a target to conquer. The eldest daughter of the Fu Group CEO, Fu Shui. Beautiful and rich, aloof and indifferent. Conquest difficulty, 5 stars. Gritting my teeth, I began my conquest. As a veteran beast of burden, how would I know anything about romance? But being a bootlicker, that I'm a pro at. So I started engineering chance encounters, pestering her relentlessly, acting deeply affectionate, offering my heart to Fu Shui completely and without reservation, letting her treat me however cruelly she pleased. Even the system thought I had genuinely fallen for her, that I was desperately in love. But Miss Fu was genuinely cold and distant, unmoved from beginning to end. Then suddenly one day, While I was delivering her breakfast, she uncharacteristically spoke to me. You like me? After a moment of stunned silence, I nodded frantically. Fu Shui scoffed. From today onwards, you're my boyfriend. I was knocked dizzy by this sudden wave of happiness. When I happily reached for her hand, she snapped coldly. Get lost. All right then. Get lost it is. From that day on, I became Fu Shui's boyfriend, picking her up and dropping her off from work every day. You could say the entire relationship was sustained solely by me, sucking up to her. But none of that matters now. I took out my phone, looking at the long string of zeros in my account balance. Curiously, I asked the system, can I take this money back to my original world? I felt ecstatic inside, just as expected from the CEO's daughter. So generous. Big shots really are something else. I sucked up so hard my tongue felt raw. I would have been devastated if I hadn't gotten a penny. Sister Shui is truly magnanimous, considerate of a poor person's struggles. The system said the money from this world had to be spent in this world. I couldn't dream of taking a single cent back. All right, since I can't take the money with me, I have to spend it. After being dirt poor for 2 lifetimes, I can finally live large for once. The system told me to wait a couple of days and not to rush. It was going to submit my mission report, and once it was verified, I could return to my original world. Okay, you do your thing, I'll do mine. Off to shop. I began to splurge wildly, renting luxury cars and huge villas. Since I couldn't take them with me anyway, buying would be a huge loss. Who knows who'd end up benefiting after I left. After renting these, I hit the malls for a shopping spree. Life became incredibly extravagant and debauched, a whirlwind of luxury and pleasure. That evening, I dressed up sharply, looking handsome, and went to a club to dance. A group of girls surrounded me. I was ecstatic. When had I ever received this kind of treatment? Coming out of the club's restroom, as luck would have it, I ran into Fu Shui's friend, Bai Ningbing. I was just about to turn and leave, but she spotted me. Guchen, are you here looking for Fu Shui? Looking for her, I asked. I retorted, don't talk nonsense, Bai Ningbing. I've already broken up with her. Why would I be looking for her? Without another word, Bai Ningbing grabbed me, her eyes filled with pity. Guchen, I know you can't let go of Fu Shui. You're just being stubborn. Let me tell you, today's the day her childhood sweetheart returns. We're here, throwing him a welcome party. If you don't show up, Fu Shui might really end up with him. With that, she ignored my struggles and dragged me into a VIP room. Opening the door, Fu Shui saw it was me, and her expression immediately tensed. I looked up and saw a handsome boy sitting beside her. The boy looked down his nose at me. So you're Sister Shui's infamous ex-boyfriend? Damn bootlicker, you deserve to be dumped. You're not worthy of her at all. I'm warning you, don't pester Sister Shui ever again. Having said his piece, He Chong shot me a vicious glare, looking like he wanted to tear me apart. Son of a bitch. No way I was going to tolerate this. Right. You're worthy. You're the perfect match. Absolutely the most suitable one. Life gets boring, and then some toad jumps out to pass judgment on humans. Having shut down that moron, I swaggered over and plopped myself right down in the booth. I don't care if you, Fu Shui, welcome me or not. The mission's done. Why should I put up with your attitude? Crossing my legs, I poured myself a drink and sipped it slowly. He Chong was furious. Suddenly, he clutched his chest, looking pained, and made to fall into Fu Shui's arms. Shui, my dear sister, he insulted me. Fu Shui, who had been watching coldly, suddenly stood up, looking like she was about to defend He Chong. He Chong fell straight onto the sofa, failing to land in Fu Shui's arms as intended. Seeing she had no intention of paying him any mind, he could only stand up awkwardly. His eyes darted around, and He Chong stepped forward, trying to take Fu Shui's arm. But before he could touch her, Fu Shui, for some reason, suddenly sat back down, her eyes fixed intently on me. After a long moment, Fu Shui, her expression icy and superior, calmly said to me, Gu Chun, you've gone too far. The noisy private room suddenly fell silent. I scoffed disdainfully, completely disregarding Fu Shui. Just then, one of her friends, seeing how awkward the atmosphere had become, stepped in to mediate. We're all friends here. Come on, let's drink. He Chong, don't provoke him. He's just overly sad because his sister Shui dumped him. Now He Chong wouldn't stand for it, snapping back at the friend who had spoken. What do you mean? How did I provoke him? He clearly started bullying me first. Looking at Chong, red-faced and veins bulging in his neck, I found his stupidity almost cute. Such a big man, yet acting so whiny. Was he playing the same game as me? I couldn't be bothered with this kind of two-faced, moronic guy. I'd rather spend the time scrolling through Weibo. Seeing me looking down at my phone, completely ignoring Chong. Chong wore a constipated expression, like he was furious but had nowhere to vent. Not sure what occurred to him, but his eyes suddenly darted around, and he started taunting me maliciously. A simp uses Weibo too? Is your account just a record of your daily simping? You wouldn't mind sharing it with us, would you? My expression stiffened slightly, not because I was afraid of him, but because my Weibo account really couldn't be shared with others. Stealing myself, I replied. I just browse Weibo for gossip and entertainment. Seeing I didn't dare to share, Chong became even more relentless. He was certain my Weibo must contain records of my simping, which would give him a chance to humiliate me. Thinking this, he lowered his head and chatted with the person next to him. Soon after, he turned to me with a malicious smile. Just got a number. Let's see what a simp's daily life looks like. He smugly waved his phone, opened the app, entered the phone number, and searched, all in one smooth motion. My face turned pale with fright. There was no way to stop him. After all, it was his phone. I couldn't just snatch it and smash it. I could only watch helplessly as he clicked open the profile page for Mouse Loves Big Me. Just as my hands were trembling with nervousness, Fu Shui's icy voice rang out in the room, laced with a hint of warning. Stop looking. Close it. Guess she has some conscience after all. My 3 weeks of simping weren't entirely wasted. Unexpectedly, that bastard Chong was determined to embarrass me. Not only did he ignore her, but he also mirrored his phone screen onto the large display in the room. The instant he clicked on my Weibo feed, I shot up and ran faster than a dog. Just before leaving, I deliberately turned back and said to everyone in the room, "Mountains are high and roads are long. Farewell. We shall likely never meet again." Fuck, there was nothing else on my Weibo, just posts dissing Fu Shui. Every single post was a record of my mockery and disdain for Fu Shui. Luckily, I ran fast. If I'd been slower, I might have died in that room today. Just as I stepped out, the people inside the room were already staring silently at the big screen. Goddamn Miss Big. Where's the big? Clearly just a Miss Small. So small, a pair of A-cups, I really can't handle that. Cold fish, stubborn mule, this annoying idiot who ignores people is driving me crazy. When can we finally break up? Speaking of the most annoying type of woman, it's definitely the kind who acts like she has shit in her mouth, afraid to speak lest she reveals her bad breath. Aloof on the surface, but insecure deep down. Finally broke up, 10 million in the bank, feeling great. Didn't expect this idiot to be so generous. Thanks a lot. In the dead silence, Fu Shui faced her friend's gazes, her expression cold, but her slightly trembling hand betrayed her inner agitation. A moment later, she crushed the wine glass in her hand. Fu Shui grabbed her coat, stood up, and walked out of the private room. Little sister Shui, where are you going? Going to catch that bootlicker. At this moment, Chong was smiling warmly, clutching my incessantly ringing phone. I couldn't even wait for the elevator, sprinting all the way back to the luxurious apartment. Only after getting inside did I feel safe. I turned on my phone. Countless missed calls, all from Fu Shui. Seeing I wasn't answering, Fu Shui finally sent me a message. Guchen, you've got guts. I'll give you another 10 million. Just don't let me catch you. Reading this message, I could just imagine Fu Shui grinding her teeth as she sent it. Lying contentedly on the leather sofa, I chuckled inwardly. Afraid of you? Once the system submits the mission, I'll leave this world. You think you can catch me? Dream on, huh? Just as I finished laughing, the system came online. This damn thing is so slow. Bro, it's been so long. Hasn't the mission submission succeeded yet? The damn system had an expression like it wanted to look at me, but didn't dare. I knew that look well. It's the same expression I have when I screw up and look at my boss. I nervously jumped up from the sofa. Bro, don't mess with me. What happened? Spit it out. The damn system stammered. Well, it's nothing major, Guchun. It's just network lag caused the mission submission to fail. Haha, look at this mess. We'll just have to trouble you to do it again. This son of a bitch still had the nerve to laugh. As the damn system's guilty voice drifted into my ears, My vision went dark, my body swayed, and I nearly fainted. I just fucking pissed Fu Shui off completely. How the hell am I supposed to do it again? Walk right up to her and ask to be killed? Just as I was freaking out and about to lose it, the doorbell suddenly rang, making my heart jump. She found me this quickly? I looked through the peephole. Speak of the devil. Fu Shui was standing outside the door, her face ice cold. She was forcefully suppressing her anger, her tone frigid as she said, "Gu Chun, get the hell out here." The damn system, with trembling paws, lit a cigarette and took a deep drag. How about you just jump out the window? If you're lucky, you'll only end up half crippled. Then Fu Shui can take care of you, and you two can rekindle things. I gave it a fake smile and slapped the cigarette out of its hand. What kind of luck makes you only half crippled after jumping from the 36th floor? If I had that kind of luck, would I have died suddenly? Would the network lag during mission submission? The damn system chuckled awkwardly. I regretted it so much. If I'd known better, I wouldn't have recklessly taken that 10 million. Now I'm screwed. Trembling all over, I braced myself against the door. I knew opening it would lead to an even worse fate. Looking at Fu Shui, I laughed desperately, my voice trembling. "Ah, whatever. I guess I have a death wish. Go ahead, kill me if you have the guts. Don't blame me for giving up the struggle." Fu Shui usually seemed nonchalant and emotionless, but in reality, she held grudges over the smallest things and was extremely vengeful. A few minutes later, the door was broken down by several bodyguards, sending dust flying everywhere. Fu Shui slowly walked in. Slumped on the floor, my survival instinct flared intensely. "System bro, do you have an emergency risk avoidance service?" I asked anxiously. No response from the other end. That son of a bitch system really is a dog. It actually scrambled offline and ran away. To ditch me, the host, at the critical moment. "Damn it, you bastard." Gritting her teeth audibly in anger. Fu Shui's grim face slowly became clear through the dust and smoke. "Didn't I tell you not to let me catch you?" Her cold gaze landed on me, filled with killing intent. I knew I wouldn't be able to get through this today. I was gonna die, stealing myself. I pinched my thigh hard, and my eyes suddenly reddened. "Honey, didn't you realize I was just forcing a smile? I was just putting up a brave front. Don't you know how much I've loved you during this time? Can't I have a little self-respect and say some tough words behind her back?" Fu Shui remained expressionless, lifting her eyelids slightly. "Is that so?" I lowered my head, tears dripping onto the floor with audible plops. Stubbornly, I turned my back to Fu Shui, my shoulders shaking incessantly like a resilient young poplar tree. Fu Shui glanced at me, then surveyed my luxurious penthouse apartment, her gaze finally settling on the pile of luxury goods I had bought. My heart trembled, but I cried even more wretchedly. "Fu Shui, do you know? After we broke up, I could only rely on shopping to relieve the depression in my heart. But even so, it couldn't heal the hurt you caused me. Although I got cold, lifeless money, what I lost was a soft, warm you. If I had a choice, I would rather have you than the money." Fu Shui raised an eyebrow, looking at me mockingly. "You don't want the 10 million, you just want me?" I nodded like pounding garlic, opening my tear-blurred eyes, my gaze sincere and full of expectation. She looked at me intently for a long moment. "Fine, then give me back the 10 million. Damn you, leave it to you." Her words made me break down. I thought I was about to leave this world, so I'd already spent all that money. Just this morning, passing the entrance to the residential complex, I casually gave 100,000 to a beggar. Where on earth was I supposed to find 10 million for you now? Although the luxury penthouse is valuable, I'm renting it. Seeing me hesitate to speak, Fu Shui said impatiently, "What? Can't come up with the money? This apartment must be worth at least 8 million. Sell it and pay me back. I won't ask for the remaining 2 million. How generous of you. Thank you so much." With a fawning expression, I said to Fu Shui, "Sister Shui, I want to sell it too, but someone else won't let me." Fu Shui's willow-like eyebrows shot up. "Don't make excuses. Who won't let you?" "The landlord won't let me." My words left Fu Shui speechless. After a long pause, Fu Shui threw down a harsh ultimatum. "If you can't pay back the money, we get back together." With that, she hastily left with her bodyguards. It wasn't until long after Fu Shui had gone that I came back to my senses. What? Did she mean? The system, that damn bastard, had returned at some unknown point and was now wagging its tail and giving me a thumbs up. Host, leave it to you. Someone as proud as Fu Shui, after being tricked by you, actually agreed to get back together. I grinned, so wide my mouth practically became a giant abyss. I quickly scrambled up from the floor, immediately switching into simp mode. I took out my phone with trembling hands and sent Fu Shui a message. Honey, am I dreaming? You really agreed to get back together with me? Fu Shui's reply came back instantly. Gu-chun, don't flatter yourself. When did I say I wanted to get back together? I'm just granting you another chance to pursue me. Damn you. The most venomous heart belongs to a woman. Looks like I really have to repeat all those bottom-of-the-barrel simping behaviors again. So, the next day, I returned to the miserable life of being Fu Shui's simp. The comforting thing was, having simped so hard before, I'd gained experience. This time, being a simp was second nature. I would never again be like the first time, buying breakfast for Fu Shui only for her to have an allergic reaction, or bringing her hand-cooked soup when she was sick, only for the mushrooms to be poisonous and almost send her to the afterlife. Even on the day she was discharged, I was helping her down the stairs when I sneezed. I accidentally let go of Fu Shui, causing her to spend another month in the orthopedics department. I remember after she drank my mushroom soup and had just had her stomach pumped, lying weakly on the hospital bed, pale and frowning, she looked at me and asked faintly, Gu-chun, are you actually trying to woo me, or are you trying to kill me? Or is it that because I didn't agree to your pursuit, you're planning to bum me off? I lower my head, not daring to make a peep. Back then, Bai Ningbing always said that if this continued, Fu Shui would sooner or later end up broken in my hands. Literally broken. At 6 in the morning, sporting huge dark circles under my eyes, I carried Fu Shui's favorite breakfast and knocked on her door. Previously, to play the pity card and make her feel sorry enough for me to agree to date me, I always used to get up before dawn to buy her breakfast and deliver it to her doorstep. When Fu Shui opened the door and saw it was me, her face darkened. Gu-chun, you're here so early. Did you come here to sleep? My face instantly flushed red, and I gave a coy smile. Oh, you. That's the ultimate goal. How could you just say it out loud? For now, I just want to be the first person you see when you wake up. Fu Shui looked at my overly coy act and nearly gagged. I imagined she must have been thinking with deep regret. Oh God, I can't believe I have to go through such a cringe-worthy plotline again. Fu Shui angrily slammed the door shut and went back inside, leaving me awkwardly stranded at the doorstep. But I wasn't discouraged. Sure enough, after a short wait, Fu Shui's muffled voice came through the smart lock's microphone. Enter the password yourself and come in. I was completely baffled. How I know the password? After racking my brain for a while, I entered Fu Shui's birthday. An error message popped up. Fu Shui's impatient voice came through again. Your birthday? Now I was completely stunned. In the living room, Fu Shui was lounging lazily on the sofa, the corners of her eyes still slightly red from sleepiness. Once inside, I immediately put on a teary-eyed expression and asked softly, Wifey, getting up so early today, it must have been hard on you. Fu Shui glared at me, annoyed. And just who was it that woke me up bright and early? I was speechless. Looking at the Shengjian bao I offered her, Fu Shui snorted. My taste changed a while ago. I like the shrimp dumplings from the south side of town now. All right, fine. You're the boss. Whatever you say goes. I pulled out my phone, just about to place an order, when Fu Shui's voice piped up again. Is it you wooing me or the delivery guy? Fine. I'll go buy them, all right? When I returned, panting and carrying the crystal shrimp dumplings, I personally arranged them on the dining table, pulled out a chair, and forced a smile at her. Wifey, come and eat. They're still hot. You wouldn't believe it. I was pedaling standing up the whole way. Nearly pedaled the share bike apart. But then, Fu Shui picked up a dumpling disdainfully. The skins are all stuck together. How can anyone eat this? Damn it. I rode a bike 10 kilometers back and forth. And you complain the skins are stuck? Do you steam your dumplings individually at home or something? She was definitely doing it on purpose. My lips trembled with rage. I wanted nothing more than to wrap this damn woman up like a dumpling and eat her. But being bound by the system, I had no choice but to yield. Swallowing my anger, I shook her arm pleadingly. Wifey, what would you like to eat? How about? How about I make it for you every day from now on, okay? So that evening, I made her kung pao chicken, squirrel-shaped mandarin fish, sweet and sour spare ribs, mapo tofu. A full 18 dishes, all requested by her. After serving her dinner, I even thoughtfully tidied up her room. Surely, someone as hardworking, uncomplaining, and incredibly considerate as me must have melted her heart of stone just a little, right? I was rubbing my hands together gleefully, asking sweetly, "Wifey, how is everything today? Was hubby service up to par?" But instead of praise, she gave me a sidelong glance. "The work's done, so get going. Unless you were hoping to stay the night." Although I was angry, I noticed a slight upward curve fighting its way on her tightly pressed lips. That damn woman was really messing with me, mocking me, laughing at me. Fine, I'll go. Even a simp has some pride. Some people are loved, some are spoiled rotten, while I'm like a stray dog by the roadside, kicked over and over. By the time I left her villa, it was already dark. The little stone lion by the villa gate looked increasingly repulsive to me. I kicked it while cursing. Foo shui. Screw your ancestors 8 generations back. If it weren't for returning to my original world, who'd be willing to wait on you hand and foot like a dog? I don't know if it was my imagination, but I kept feeling a gaze fixed on me from behind. I whipped my head around. Although the lights were on the second floor of the villa, there was no one by the window. Yeah, right? That damn woman Foo Shui was probably blissfully lying in bed, catching up on sleep right now. Why would she bother coming to the balcony to watch me leave? The whole day had nearly killed me. Dragging my exhausted body, I finally made it back to my luxurious penthouse flat. Before falling asleep, gritting my teeth, I sent Foo Shui a message. Today is another day of loving my wife. Good night, wifey, love ya. I angrily tossed my phone aside and passed out. The next day, I woke up to my alarm before 6, got on my bicycle, and set off again. To look pathetic, I returned the rented sports car. My friends, have any of you ever put everything on the line for someone? I've never worked this hard, even when earning money at my job. Foo Shui was wearing a pink silk pajama set, looking reserved and aloof, but the look in her eyes seemed different from usual. She even greeted me proactively. "Ah, Simpy's here again." I forced a bright smile. Another wonderful day to be with my wife. She gave me a faint glance, her expression unreadable. In the following days, she rather complacently enjoyed my servitude, playing the part of the pampered young mistress to the hilt. The killer part was that her neurotic episodes became more frequent. The gentler I acted, the more irritable she became. The more I tried to coax her with sweet words, the more she scoffed. I couldn't help but wonder, wasn't she always the biggest sucker for this kind of thing? What got in her lately? I grabbed her arm, calling out plaintively like a cuckoo crying blood, "Wifey, pay attention to me. Stop calling me that." Her voice was a little hoarse as she sullenly walked out onto the balcony. A few days later, Foo Shui suddenly suggested I accompany her to a banquet as her date. It seemed private torment wasn't enough. She wanted me to face public humiliation. Then again, I had embarrassed her in front of so many people. She definitely wanted to regain her standing. Night had fallen, the city lights were beginning to sparkle, and the banquet hall buzzed with high society. In the crowd, Hichong held a wine glass. When his eyes landed on Foo Shui, the smile almost couldn't be contained. Then, upon seeing me, flames of fury instantly ignited in his eyes. "Man, how did you get in here? Who let you in? You loser, you simp." Hichong's face twisted ferociously as he screamed and charged at me, startling me so badly that a mouthful of cake lodged itself firmly in my throat. I nearly choked to death. "You little punk, trying to kill your daddy, huh?" Clutching my chest. Once I'd finally recovered, I smiled and leaned close to his ear. "Let me tell you a secret. Don't tell anyone else, all right? Your darling Shui and I have made up. She loves me even more than before." Hearing this, Hichong looked incredulous. His face went white, utterly losing his composure. "You simp. You're just playing her, scamming her for money. I won't allow you two to get back together. Get the hell out." The shrill voice pierced my ears. Annoyed, I dug a finger into my ear, then picked up another plate of mousse cake and began eating nonchalantly. "That's a valuable suggestion you've made. I just want to say no. Me standing here is a middle finger to you and the whole world." Hichong's chest heaved violently. So furious he looked ready to pass out. Just as he was about to lay hands on me, he abruptly changed his tune. Please, stop yelling at me. I was just joking. I scoffed lightly. Your joke isn't half as funny as your face. A light chuckle sounded by my ear. Fu Shui had somehow appeared behind me. He Chong, tears welling in his eyes, pointed at me and whined, Shui Mimi, this bad man sneaked in here, and he even scolded me. Fu Shui swept her cold gaze over me, then looked at me with a mocking smile. Back together. I'm so in love. She was angry. I could feel it. Was it because she'd let He Chong misunderstand? Probably. I steadied my voice, forced a smile, and shook my head. No. I'm the one who's so in love. Without you, I'm like a fish out of water, a dying donkey. Those things I posted on Weibo? All deliberate, just to get your attention again. Everything I do is a carefully calculated push and pull. I positioned myself as the hopeless simp, deliberately saying all this loudly to save He Chong's face in front of everyone. Sure enough, Fu Shui's expression softened. My heart sank. The only reason I'd succeeded in winning her over before was probably because He Chong wasn't around, and Fu Shui was just playing around. Now, it'd be tough. I was about to spiral into depression again. He Chong suddenly spoke up, sounding puzzled. Shui Mimi, why are you wearing a blue necklace today? I thought you hated that color the most. Maybe it was my imagination, but Fu Shui's expression flickered with something like discomfort. She turned her face away, lips pressed tight. What I liked yesterday, I might not like today. What I hated yesterday, I might like today. I blinked. That sounded unnecessarily cryptic, but He Chong's face drained of color. Now the tears in his eyes were real. Shui Mimi, I knew you were still angry about me leaving without a word to study abroad back then. Unable to bear Fu Shui's coldness, he turned and ran off, sobbing. I cackled inwardly. This guy was even more of a crybaby than me, and I was pretending. He was the real deal. I expected Fu Shui to chase after him, but instead, she just fixed me with a dark stare. Guchin, you've got quite the silver tongue. I was baffled. You're the one who pissed him off. How is this my fault? The banquet ended. On the way back, the car was silent. Fu Shui stared out the window, saying nothing. I was about to crack some joke when my eyes landed on that necklace again. Earlier, I'd been too busy bickering with He Chong to look closely. Wait, wasn't it the necklace I gave her? The one I bought from a street vendor for $19.90 with a free ring thrown in? We didn't speak the rest of the way. When we reached my place, Fu Shui suddenly cleared her throat. Blue, actually looks pretty good, don't you think? I choked, caught off guard, but nodded hastily. Why, whatever you say, babe. Fu Shui's face remained stiff. She stared at me for a long moment, then curled her lip and shoved me out of the car. Suddenly, I felt exhausted. I knew Fu Shui liked He Chong. The moment she came back, she dumped me. Bringing me to the banquet was just to provoke him. Our argument made her look good. I knew all of it. Can't I just switch targets already? Just as I was stewing, the damn system, silent for ages, finally piped up. Want to switch? Yeah, that's on me. I'll put in a request. Usually gets approved. My eyes nearly popped out. You could have said that sooner, you piece of shit. Too overjoyed to curse it out, I nearly wept. Finally, freedom from that ice queen. In my excitement, I couldn't resist firing off another Weibo post. El Mayo, only a dumbass would get back together. Not my problem anymore. 2 minutes later, a new comment appeared below. A black avatar. Short reply. My stomach dropped. Sure enough, my phone rang instantly. Fu Shui's icy voice crackled through. Gu Chun, get your ass over here. Now, don't talk to me like that, Fu Shui. I'm not coming, for your safety. If I show up now, I might just punch your head off. I hung up with maximum audacity, powered off my phone, and prepared to flee overnight. 5 minutes later, Tongzi returned with his tail between his legs. Seeing him in such a sorry state, my confidence instantly wavered. What's wrong? The damn thing clearly lacked conviction, stammering for ages without spitting out a single coherent word. Well, I don't know what's up with the main system this time, but I actually can't switch the target. Damn it, I couldn't hold back anymore. I spent a solid 10 minutes cursing at this mutt. Yet, the shameless bastard didn't even blush. Instead, he had the nerve to comfort me. Guchun, if all else fails, just take one for the team and go trick someone into marriage. You're truly evil. I might as well die. Pale-faced, I drowned in overwhelming sorrow, trembling as I unlocked my phone to see countless missed calls. Wiping cold sweat from my forehead, I called back, my voice oozing sycophantic sweetness. "Shweb, baby, what are you doing? Busy? Can I come over now?" The woman on the other end scoffed. "Come over? To smash my head in?" By the time I arrived at Fu Shue's place, it was already midnight. She sat in the dimly lit living room, the lights off. Her icy eyes gleamed with a chilling glint in the darkness, utterly terrifying. An empty liquor bottle sat on the coffee table. "So you really want to break up that badly?" Fu Shue's voice gave nothing away. I couldn't help but suspect she was just taking her anger out on me after fighting with Ichang. A thought struck me. Maybe I could take advantage of the situation? My eyes lit up, and I flashed what I thought was a charming smile. "How could that be? I just couldn't stand seeing you and Chong flirting. You have no idea how jealous I was. It drove me crazy, made me lose my mind, and that's why I started spouting nonsense." Fu Shui remained silent. My heart pounded, and just as I was about to say something else, suddenly, a soft warmth pressed against me. Fu Shui squeezed into my arms and hugged me tightly. In the dark room, moonlight streaming through the window illuminated her, making her look breathtakingly beautiful. The sudden closeness sent her scorching breath against my neck. "Then prove it to me. Show me how much you love me." Her words left me stunned. Holy shit, is this Ice Queen actually asking me to kiss her? She never even lets me hold her hand. And now she's jumping straight to this? Or did I misunderstand? Hesitantly, I leaned closer to her lips, my body stiff, fully expecting her to push me away. But Fu Shui lost patience first. She wrapped her arms around my neck, clinging to me. "Quit dawdling. If you want to kiss me, then kiss me." For a second, I wanted to sue her for slander. Since when did I say I wanted to kiss her? Wasn't this her idea? But then I looked at Fu Shue's plump, jelly-like lips. Fine, maybe I did want to. Bracing myself, I pressed a quick, fleeting peck against her lips. Fu Shui clearly wasn't satisfied. "That's it? This is how much you love me." Damn, she's getting addicted. As her gaze sharpened, growing more intense, panic set in. Instinctively, I cover my mouth. "Fu Shui, listen, deep kissing is off the table. That's extra." "Extra what? If I can afford the price of getting back together, why would I care about that price?" She smirked at me. Honestly, I felt a little humiliated, a grown man like me being teased like this. Summoning my courage, I was about to lean in again when Fu Shui suddenly let go. Fine, I was disappointed. But then she said, "All right, Gu Chun, I'll believe you one last time. That true love from your mouth better be real." With that, her fingertip traced my lips teasingly. Those usually clear eyes now swirled with unreadable emotions. Terrified, my entire body felt like it was about to explode. My heart raced wildly. I knew my face must have been bright red. The night passed without words. No time to talk. Later, no strength left to speak. Starting the next day, Fu Shui, for some unknown reason, insisted on taking me to work with her. Like an accessory, I accompanied her to the company every day. Watching her handle business affairs was incredibly boring. I protested, wanted to go out for a walk. Fu Shui didn't even look up, just tossed me a Chinese dictionary, her cold voice commanding, "Memorize it." I rolled my eyes. "You're even more boring than I am." Fu Shui looked up, giving me an icy glare. A few days later, memorizing the dictionary left me dazed and mentally adrift. "Where have you gotten to?" The woman slowly walked over to me after finishing her work. Fighting heavy eyelids, I replied impatiently, halfway through, "Too slow. You must read C by tomorrow." I was about to explode, but Fu Shui rubbed her temples. "Forget it. Stop studying for now." With that, she pulled me up from the sofa. She was dressed very elegantly today. A full skirt the color of tiramisu paired with a white shirt under a long, knee-length black coat. Gold-rimmed glasses perched on her straight nose, giving her a very proper appearance. Gritting my teeth inwardly, I deliberately stepped forward, wrapped my arms around her waist, and leaned down for a kiss. "Wifey, you look so beautiful today. Let your hubby give you a kiss." My intention was just to disgust her a bit. After all, this was her CEO office in broad daylight. Unexpectedly, Fu Shui chuckled lightly, burrowed into my arms, tilted her head up, pouted her lips, offering them for a kiss. Isn't this a bit inappropriate? I awkwardly declined. The sound of secretaries walking back and forth in the hallway drifted into the CEO's office. Fu Shui pulled me towards the desk, sat on it, and gently placed her hand on my chest. The warmth of her palm burned through my clothes, making me tremble. It is inappropriate, but who told you to be so passionate, so fond of seducing me? Her eyes were full of teasing as she leaned further into me. Who exactly is being passionate? Who is seducing whom? I gritted my teeth. Screw it. The worst that could happen is getting beaten up under some pretext. Just as I was about to make my move, the secretary knocked, announcing that the scheduled client had arrived. Fu Shui sighed, gave my chin a light peck, and released me. Go play by yourself. I'll take you out for something good to eat after I'm done. Watching the door slowly close, I was furious. Listen to what she said. What does she mean? Play by yourself? Play what? This woman doesn't just seem indecent. She is indecent. Useless. Just about to kiss a woman, and you're blushing down to your heels. Where's that bravado you have when you're cursing me out? The damn system suddenly popped up, speaking contemptuously. You damn thing. Why are you peeking at my heels? Instead of enjoying the show, why don't you optimize your crappy network that always drops? The burning heat on my face hadn't subsided yet. I was both embarrassed and annoyed, absolutely fuming. The system looked subdued after my retort, but luckily, it was clever enough to quickly change the subject. Host, I think Fu Shui is being a bit too good to you now. Could she be serious? Don't let it get to the point where you can't break up even if you want to. I shook my head helplessly. Have you forgotten she still has that unattainable white moonlight? At this, the system fell silent. I patted its dog head. Forget it. We just need to survive these next 3 weeks. As I said this, a surge of resentment rose in my chest. Thinking about it, I grew angrier and angrier. Without waiting for that damn woman Fu Shui, I left on my own. Back home, I decided to vent my frustrations by going crazy on Weibo. But I was clever. I registered a new burner Weibo account before starting my rant. Good-looking guy, high stress levels. Any beauties available to arrange something? Down for drives, drinks, whatever. Cheap rates, great service. Before long, an account with a beautiful woman's profile picture replied. It was also newly registered. I like that, cautious just like me. After thinking for a moment, I still sent Fu Shui a message. Wifey, I have plans tonight, won't be back. But Fu Shui didn't reply at all. Deep in the quiet night, having escaped Fu Shui's villa, I ran like hell. Panting, I ran to the street corner where I'd arranged to meet the beauty, only to find she was already there. A black Ducati was parked by the roadside. Beside it stood a figure, back turned to me, leaning lazily against the bike, revealing a stunning figure with long legs. Thrilled, I waved at her. Hey beautiful, right on time. I'm here. Cool bike. She hummed softly, turning her head to look at me with a smile that wasn't quite a smile. When I saw her face clearly, all my earlier excitement vanished. As if I'd seen a ghost, I took large steps backward. Fu Shui, how could it be you? And why shouldn't it be me? Fu Shui asked, her expression grim. I lowered my head in humiliation, not daring to look at her. Going out looking for a good time, and the date turns out to be my own wife. How do I handle this? It's urgent, waiting for advice online. Fu Shui walked over. Wanted to see a beauty? Go for a ride? Have a drink? Feeling stressed? Looking for a good service? How about you service me for change? I immediately turned to run back. Actually, I suddenly feel kind of sleepy. I'm heading home to bed. Don't worry about seeing me off. Fu Shui dropped her teasing tone, reached out, and grabbed my wrist firmly. Gu-chun, remember this. You are a man with a girlfriend. Perhaps it was the cold night wind, but hearing her words, I shivered. Yet I felt deeply wronged. Her heart was clearly still set on her unforgettable past love, yet she demanded absolute loyalty from me. What kind of twisted logic was that? With a stiff face, I started to head home, but Fu Shui stopped me. Get on the bike. Fuming inwardly, I started speaking recklessly. It's just a stone's throw home. I'm not so delicate that I need a ride. Fu Shui shot me a sideways glance. Didn't you want to go for a ride and look at the moon? Or have you changed your mind? I still obediently climbed onto the bike, unable to resist muttering under my breath. The main course I was looking forward to is off the menu. but I guess a little snack is okay too. Fu Shue's voice, tight with anger, sounded right beside my ear. Gu-chun, do you have a death wish? I quickly tightened my arms around her waist. Your waist is so soft, Shue. I love holding it. Fu Shui snorted coldly, but didn't say anything else. The night wind carried a hint of coolness as Fu Shui sped along the winding mountain roads with me behind her. She rode fast but steady, and I found it thrilling. Fu Shui's voice drifted back on the wind. Is the moon beautiful tonight? I looked up at the sky. Beneath the high, bright moon, I held her slender waist tightly, laughing freely. Time flew by, and there was only one day left of the 3 weeks. The mission was almost complete. During this period, Fu Shui had been very good to me. The way she looked at me was intense and focused. Her kisses always felt so sincere, passionate, and lingering. Only when my kisses left her eyes moist and her body weak would she release me, gasping for breath. After the passion subsided, she would always stroke my face and ask softly, Gu-chun, you can't leave me now, can you? I'm yours now. You have to take responsibility for me, right? In those dazed moments, I started to think she might have genuinely fallen in love with me. That was until Fu Shui told me she wanted me to accompany her to He Chang's birthday party today. Only then did I snap back to reality. Today was He Chang's birthday. Bringing me was just another move in whatever game she was playing with him. Realizing this, I mentally slapped myself. That was close. I'd almost lost my head and believed she had actually fallen in love with me. On the way there, I stared out the window, silent. My acting skills were usually decent, but today I couldn't manage to look happy no matter how I tried. Fu Shui squeezed my hand affectionately. I know you don't like He Chang, but our families go way back. We have to show the He family some courtesy. If you feel too uncomfortable, we can just stay for a bit and then leave. Yeah, right, if I leave, it just makes it easier for you to get close to He Chang, doesn't it? Damn woman. Whatever. It's the last day anyway. After today, this will all be over. When He Chang saw Fu Shui arrive, his eyes instantly lit up. He deliberately ignored me, walked up to Fu Shui, and said with a pained expression, Shui-mei, you're here. How much longer are you going to keep humoring this guy, just to spite me? Fine, I admit defeat. I'll apologize, okay? Today's my birthday, and I don't want to see this guy. Kick him out for me. Before coming in, Fu Shui had specifically warned me not to engage with He Chang. So I just treated his words like the grunting of a wild boar, watching him with mild amusement. Unexpectedly, Fu Shui's expression shifted. Her usual detached, indifferent face twisted into something dark and vicious. All right, their game was about to begin. This was the classic setup of those old, melodramatic angst fests. As the villainous side character meant to deepen the male lead's misunderstandings, I knew my place. Grabbing a drink, I retreated to a corner, watching Fu Shui from afar as she stood in the center of the hall. She was cool and distant, while He Chang was handsome and lively. Strangely enough, they looked oddly well-matched together. I didn't want to keep watching, so I turned and left. Stepping onto the deserted balcony, I started thinking about what I'd do once I returned to my original world. Before long, someone suddenly approached from behind. Before I could turn around, they wrapped their arms around me. Fu Shui's lips brushed against my ear as she whispered, What are you thinking about? I knew the drill. Emotional labor was part of the job. You. Under the moonlight, I stood in silence as Fu Shui held me tightly. Her soft kisses trailed along my earlobe, her scorching breath searing my skin. I gritted my teeth, refusing to make sound. But she seemed addicted, showing no signs of stopping anytime soon. Finally, I couldn't take it anymore. There are too many people here. We'll get caught. Let's talk at home. Fu Shui paused, pressing one last kiss to my neck before releasing me. When I turned around, she looked up at me and asked, Gu-chun, which home? Are you planning to break up with me? Her question caught me off guard. A chill crept through my body. Had I slipped up somehow? I met her gaze, then pulled her into a possessive embrace, our posture intimate and ambiguous. What nonsense are you spouting? We're fine. Why will we break up? I had a hold on, just one more day, for more hours, and my mission would be complete. Fu Shui's eyes darkened, her emotions barely restrained. The cold moonlight cast her face in an even paler light. She was hurt, disappointed. After a long pause, Her voice carried a trace of indescribable sorrow. If we're still together tomorrow, remember, you have to tell me. I'll give you the choice. Suddenly, I remember that day when Fu Shui had taken me out for a drive. One moment she had been smiling warmly, and the next, her expression turned serious as she said, Gu-chun, if you need anything, tell me. I'll give it to you. But don't just disappear on me. That wouldn't be fair. My eyes widened in disbelief as I stared at Fu Shui. In my mind, I frantically called out to the system. Damn system, what do I do? Fu Shui seems to know about the mission. The system's gaze was cautious. This bastard wouldn't screw me over again, would it? Seeing me glare, it stammered. Turns out I was right. Fu Shui knows this world has mission takers. Some systems are too low level. When they lock onto her as a target, she can sense them. In that instant, I understood. She had known from the very beginning that I was a mission taker. She'd only softened toward me because my simp persona had moved her, helping me complete the task. But then my act had fallen apart, all thanks to that idiot He Chong. That wasn't even the worst part. The real disaster was that the damn system had messed up when submitting the mission. Now it all made sense. Clinging to one last shred of hope, I met Fu Shui's gaze and gave my answer. Let's break up tomorrow, okay? I said meekly. After tomorrow, she could openly love her true soulmate. I'm going back to my world. We'll each return to our own lives. We won't see each other again. The color drained from Fu Shui's face, bit by bit. After a moment, she gave a low, scornful laugh. After all that, you're still leaving? So, I was the only one taking this seriously from the start. Hearing her say that, I couldn't help but flare up. Seriously, cut the melodrama, okay? If I don't leave, how am I supposed to make room for your white moonlight? Fu Shui looked up, her face filled with confusion. Make room? What are you talking about? I have nothing to do with him. We only interact because our families have known each other for generations. I didn't believe her for a second. When He Chong came back, she threw him a welcome party. When He Chong spoke ill of me, she defended him. Fu Shui walked over and took my hand. I tried to pull away, but she gripped it tighter, her expression stubborn. I'll give you one more chance. Answer again. Are you willing to stay for me? I slowly pried her fingers open. Fu Shui, I do like you, but I can't only like you. I have family who loves me, important friends, a career I'm passionate about. Fu Shui, I can't just love you all alone in this world. Hearing this, Fu Shui's face went deathly pale, as if she had long anticipated this outcome. Fu Shui gave a wretched smile. Fine. All right, Gu-chun, I agree. We'll break up tomorrow. Early the next morning, my form began to blur, fading away bit by bit before Fu Shui's eyes. At first, Fu Shui's expression was deathly still, but as she watched me turn transparent, panic set in. Finally, almost frantically, she tried to hold on to me, screaming at the top of her lungs. Gu-chun, I regret it. You remember this. Don't let me catch you again. Next time, I won't let you go. Tears shimmered in my eyes. Fu Shui, thank you for letting me go. After returning to my original world, there was no dog system, no Fu Shui. The last time's brush with death from overwork taught me not to push myself too hard, to learn how to slack off. I started cherishing time spent with family and friends. A year passed. Life was calm and happy. But sometimes when I was alone, looking up at the moon, I'd inevitably think back to that night Fu Shui took me for a drive. The wind in the mountains, the cold, clear moon, the stars in the sky, the chirping of cicadas by the roadside. My family and friends noticed something was off about me and became keen on setting me up on blind dates, all of which I refused, until the day my mom tricked me into going to a restaurant. Listening to my mom drone on in my ear about how outstanding this girl was from a scholarly family just back from studying abroad. I hung my head, dejected, thinking, no matter how outstanding she is, I don't want her. I have my Fu Shui. Suddenly, a familiar voice sounded beside me. Sorry, I'm late. I looked up, staring blankly at the familiar face, unable to believe my eyes. My mom beamed, said she had something to attend to, told us young people to chat, and left. Fu Shui ignored me. She sat down opposite me, picked up her water glass, and drank slowly, deliberately. Seeing me gaping at her like an idiot, she curled her lip disdainfully. Didn't I tell you? Don't let me catch you. Why don't you ever learn? I opened my mouth, wanted to ask how she got here. My eyes grew hot. I reached out, carefully taking her small hand, terrified this was just a dream. Feeling her warmth, I smiled at her. This time, even if I die, I won't let go. Female leads perspective. Fu Shui hadn't wanted to help Gu Chun complete this task. It was too much trouble, and she hated trouble. But during the months Gu Chun relentlessly pursued her, he'd stressed her out so much she'd lost Tenjin. She felt that if she didn't agree, she might actually die. Besides, she'd started to feel a little sorry for this little simp who was trying so hard to win her over. That day, Fu Shui was working in her study, her gaze drifting through the window from time to time, settling on the road leading to her villa. Her phone rang. It was a message from Gu Chun. "Wifey, good morning. I'm on my way with a food delivery." Fu Shui clutched her stomach, aching with hunger from waiting for him, gazing at the setting sun hanging low in the west, falling silent. Shouldn't it be good night? Finally, she helplessly put down her phone, rubbing the space between her eyebrows. Just moments before the sky turned completely dark, Gu Chen's figure finally appeared in her sight. He wore a Briar-Bear hat, pedaling a bicycle with a meal box hanging from the handlebars. Watching his wobbly riding, Fu Shui suddenly found him rather cute. Fu Shui's lips curved, the corners softening unconsciously. Who would have thought? Gu Chen's hat was too big. When he stood up to pedal harder, the hat slipped down, covering his eyes, and just like that, he crashed straight into a tree. The meal box scattered. Gu Chun sat on the ground, clutching his head, his eyes red and looking aggrieved. Fu Shui grew very nervous. Dropping the pen she held, she stood up, ready to rush downstairs. But just as she got up, she saw Gu Chun letting out strange cries, scrambling to his feet, picking up the bicycle, and slamming it repeatedly against the tree. The dry leaves on the winter tree rained down with a rustle. Not until the bicycle fell apart did he seem satisfied. He picked up the meal box, ignoring the scattered parts and the still spinning wheel of the broken bike. Limping over, he called out gently through the gate, "Wifey, I've brought you breakfast. Dinner." Fu Shui felt that Gu Chun might genuinely like her, that he had gone through a lot for her, so she accepted his pursuit. She figured that after 3 weeks, once the mission was complete, she could just let him go home. She didn't even dare to be too warm or pleasant towards Gu Chun, fearing he would fall deeper, become unwilling to go home, and end up truly clinging to her. She had seen cases like this before. It was very troublesome. Clearly, she had overthought it. When the Weibo exposure happened, the main culprit had already slipped away clean, leaving utter silence. Fine, now she was the one left speechless with anger. It turned out he'd been acting all along, never truly taking her seriously. She gave a cold smile, her anger mixed with an indescribable frustration and disappointment, thinking she absolutely had to teach that lying mouth a lesson. But that night at the banquet, hearing his deeply affectionate sweet talk, knowing full well not a word from his mouth was true, she couldn't help but feel a secret thrill. Fu Shui was startled by her own reaction. Only when Gu Chun was about to leave did she have to admit that she was the one who had fallen for him all along, the one who couldn't let go. In that instant, a selfish thought occurred to her. She wanted Gu Chun to like her, to love her enough to be willing to stay in this world for her. Sometimes she felt Gu Chun really had started to like her. All those times she kissed him, he never resisted. He would even get jealous over her. Who says a little liar can't tell the truth? She was waiting, and she knew Gu Chun was waiting too. In the end, what she waited for was abandonment. What Gu Chun waited for was going home. He chose without hesitation. After he left, Fu Shui first tried hard to pretend she didn't care, then started feeling a bit lonely, and later found life had become utterly boring. She found the system and asked if she could exchange her identity to go to his world. The system said of course, but she would have to trade the fate and life of her current world. Fu Shui agreed without the slightest hesitation. And so, she gave up everything, arriving alone in another world, then pretended to be nonchalant, saying, "Didn't I tell you not to let me catch you again?" Only she herself knew, the moment she found Gu Chun, just how fortunate, how thrilled, and how overjoyed she felt.